My name's Jennifer Loyet Schamber. I graduated from Parkway South High School in '98. Went on to St. Louis University, studied business, and took on the family business. It's a garden center called Greenscape Gardens in Manchester, Missouri, and we are part of the Parkway community, tried and true. We've built ourselves into the community. We're deeply rooted in it. We absolutely love hiring from the Parkway community of students. They are always our favorite. They're always my favorite students. When we do hire, they're just really socially prepared to be in the business world, and it's exciting to see them move on and become entrepreneurs themselves or move into a different direction. But we always feel like part of that social aspect of their education they can get within our own business, and so we've really delved into seeing how else we can contribute to the students. And some of our favorite projects are always involved with gardening within the schools. And my favorite project within Parkway has been the community garden at Southwest Middle School, because it pulled together the community involvement of a nonprofit organization, Circle of Concern, along with the school, which included the faculty and the students, and then volunteers also, and then us coming from the private sector, businesses, that can all pull together and make really neat projects happen at not a huge cost to anyone. And it's been neat to see that evolve and people come together on a project that just makes you feel really good when you see it.
Mm-hmm. What kind of advice would you give to high school students today who are considering some kind of a green career? Maybe they don't have a particular career or job identified yet, but they just know that they like to work in causes that benefit the environment. And I know you've done some things that are particularly beneficial for environmental causes.
Sure, I've been really fortunate to be involved in the business of horticultural ecology, which is emerging opportunity, especially for young students right now, to look into. There's a lot of need for ecological restoration. Lots of projects that are helping with mitigation of old factories. There's also a lot of stormwater management projects going on that are really exciting and really make you feel like you are contributing to an overall greater cause of environmental awareness. So I would definitely suggest students that are interested in being outside, getting their hands dirty. If you're not meant to be in an office and you're not meant to crunch numbers, a really, really great opportunity is within the horticulture world.
Mm-hmm. Now you have a business background in college, and I know you use your business background in the Greenscape Gardens business as well. Mm-hmm. How have you, incorporated that into, the overall picture of what you do now at Greenscape?
So it's really important when you have a business model, which is what we call a social impact business model, where the projects that we do and the products that we sell all have to contribute in a positive way. And so in order to do that, you also have to be a profitable business to begin with. And so that piece of the puzzle is extremely important, because if you don't have that aspect of it, you won't be able to have the social impact aspect. And so once we figured out how to make that happen, it actually grows the business in leaps and bounds, because what you're doing is what you believe in, and when you believe in it, it really exudes. It tells your message, it tells your story, and people want to be a part of it.
Now you grew up with your parents opening and running the Greenscape Gardens mm-hmm. business for quite a while, I imagine, before you actually became involved as a manager.
Yes.
While you were growing up, did you always know that eventually you would probably work at Greenscape, or is that something that just sort of came to you after you got out of college?
I had such wonderful opportunities at Parkway South with my French teachers who took us out. I got to go on a French trip with them and got to live with a family and in France. And so I got to see these big picture stories of what the world is. And those teachers also taught us to really think for ourselves and to not just take everything for what it is, but to really look into it. And so going into college, I thought, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go out and I'm going to do something, broad, macro. And as time went on, I started to realize that sometimes it makes more sense to buy local and to promote local. And this was kind of right when that was starting to become a little bit of a, more of a trendy thing, I guess. But it really just made sense. And I was able to settle, literally stay rooted where I was planted, and took that story of supporting your local community to a different level that we're really proud of.
Do you feel like it's difficult to convince people to, eat food that's grown locally and to green up their own landscape in a sort of natural way? Is that a hard thing to sell, or?
We're finding more and more people are really joining in when it comes to, once we realize the health and wellness aspect of it and how much it just makes sense and how much it can change your just view of everything when we start to connect back to our food. We have some really great resources here in St. Louis, like Gateway Greening. There's a group, the Missouri Botanical Gardens hosts, called Biodiversity St. Louis. And all these organizations are helping to make it easier for people to make better choices. And so as a business, we want to make sure that those choices are easy for people to make, so then they'll be able to make them. If the choices are not easy to make, then people aren't going to make those choices. So we want gardening to be fun. We want growing your own food to be satisfying and pleasurable, and make it so that it's something that people want to do for multiple reasons.
I know you've been very involved in several professional organizations that have a relationship to gardening and the pollinator project that you went to Washington to lobby for. How important do you think it is to get involved in professional organizations once you get out into the working world?
I can't say enough about how important it is to be involved. It's the people who contribute. It's the people who are there. Those are the ones that are really the driving force behind change. And so my involvement with Grow Native, which is part of the Missouri Prairie Foundation, we promote selling native plants in this lower Midwest region. That organization is making it so that consumers start to perceive native plants as a little bit more of a normal thing to do. Not the crazy lady down the street with the wild yard, but but starting to recognize what the purpose and function of those types of landscapes are. We have a long way to go, and that's what's exciting about it, is that there's so much more opportunity, and that's why bringing in more young students and getting more of the next generation involved in this is so very important, because it's just the beginning.